Good morning, guys. Summer here, owner of Greensboro Downtown Yoga, and excited to bring you our first on-camera live from GDY Movement Warrior class. Before we dive into class, just a quick reminder, if you haven't, to hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it so you can get notified anytime we post new content or go live. And we've got lots going on this week, so you really don't want to miss all of that. And also a huge thank you to each and every one of you who have supported GDY through this crazy time with your financial support and donations. As a small studio in Greensboro, North Carolina, impacted and shut down by COVID, your support means the world to us. So again, thank you to each of those who've taken the moment to do so. And if you haven't, and you feel inspired or empowered by our free content, please just, there's a donation link below. It's a Ko-Fi page. And again, we appreciate, and it really does mean the world to keeping the studio open and thriving once we get back to normal, whatever that means, right? All right, so Movement Warrior. This class is a fusion between yoga, Pilates, and functional movement. And because of my background, you're going to see some different elements kind of all come together. Today, it's going to have a little bit of a flowing, what's called animal flow type-esque feel behind it, or a vinyasa flow. Other weeks, it'll be very different. But all this week, we here at GDY are celebrating and honoring National Parks Week and Earth Day. So we are connecting with the earth and nature for all of our classes. And today, specifically, we are being inspired, or I am being inspired by my favorite national park that Michael and I have adventured and seen, which is Arches. And it is this amazing park in Utah. And if you haven't had the chance to go see it, I really encourage you to take one of the virtual tours, because national parks, since all the parks are closed, are doing national park virtual tours. It's beautiful. And obviously virtual is not going to give you the same experience as live, but at least you can see it. With all the arches today, that means we are going to be working on back strengthening. Okay? So let's just do this today. I want you to start in a child's pose position. So again, we have influence here from yoga. In this position, our arms are reaching forward, our forearms are off the mat. This is going to become important later on today as we progress. But right now, I just want you to rest right here. Walk both hands to the right side of your mat and feel this great side stretch. Come back to center and go to the other side. Come back to center and bring ourselves to all fours, where we're going to make a cat. So we arch our back, we look into our belly, and then we reverse that and press our hands into the ground for a cow. So you look up to the sky. And just continue that movement. Arch, look to your belly. Counter arch and look to the sky. Right now, we're just getting some movement into our body. A little heat generating. And this class really is about giving us the strength that we need for our yoga practice, especially if you do a lot of really stretchy yoga practices. Oftentimes we get too flexy bendy and we can cause injury. So when we are able to strengthen the end range motions, we improve our yoga practice, our sport practice, our life practice. Let's return to all fours. Reach your right arm and left leg long and away from you. Pull up with your abdominals as you find this reach. Big, deep inhale. Exhale, pull your knee into your nose. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, pull in. Now, if you don't breathe when I breathe, that's okay. Just make sure that you're breathing. Because the reality is I'm fusing together yoga, Pilates, functional movement, and all of them have different breath cues. So I'm just happy if you're right here and you're moving. Hold this next one long. Bring your hand to the floor. You're gonna arch your foot so it crosses behind your one on the floor, and then it comes up and over and taps to the side. So it's this arch and arch. And I call this the rainbow because it's about making this rainbow with our leg and heating up our hips. One of the most important things when we do strength work is that we generate heat from the inside out, meaning we get warm into our hips, our abdominals, our back. And while today is going to be all body weight and not a single bit of external load, our body is a lot of load on itself. Let's do one more. So we want to have that heat generating. Lift your leg and return to all fours. Lift your opposite arm and leg. So now it's your left arm and right leg. Pull your knee into your nose. Find that rounding and then lengthen long. And here there's no arch, aside from the neutral spine that our body typically has. Pull in. So if you're finding when you come back to this bird dog is what it's called, the length, that your leg is going higher and you're arching into your back, you're actually putting pressure into your back in a way that we don't want to do. And that's one of the most common faults I see in this move. One more. Let's keep our leg lifted, hand to ground. Cross your leg behind and then come up and over. And you notice that I keep my body in that same flat, neutral position right here. And I know this seems like such a weird movement, but it's great for getting movement into your hip joint, as well as engaging the glutes and the hip muscles. And we're gonna do a little standing move, standing single leg, that you're gonna need that for. Let's come back to center. Lower your legs, sit back to child's pose. Just find that good reach again. Lengthen ourselves out so we are lying flat on our tummy. Our fingers come behind our ears. Feet flat on the floor. Keep the tops of your feet on the floor as we lift our head, neck, and chest off the ground. And lower. Now, with this, it is all about only lifting the head, neck, and chest. Our legs stay on the ground. Our eyes stay focused to the floor. If you're feeling too much pressure into your lower back, bring your hands to the floor. Squeeze your butt. That's going to activate more muscles into the back of your body as well. Let's do one more, and we're going to hold this one up. Now you reach your arms forward and then pull your elbows by your side and lower down. So you lift, reach forward, and then it's like it's not like you're swimming, but that's what they call it. Lower down. So you lift up, you reach, and then you circle so your elbows come by your side and lower. As you do this, you feel your booty engage, your lower back work. We sweep our elbows so they touch the side of our body and lower. We're doing a lot of this strengthening of our back so that when we go into arching positions, if you choose to do the all levels flow that I did this morning, you'll find that had a lot of back bending in it. And sometimes that can cause pain if we don't have the strength in our supporting surrounding muscles. So that's what this class is about giving you the strength so that we can do those flows with ease. You're gonna do one more. You might be feeling your back, your shoulder blades, all of those muscles. That's what I want. Lower down. Sit back to child's pose. Child's pose is a great counter rest for back work. Let's come to all fours. Let's do a few cat-cows. Return to neutral. You're gonna lengthen your right leg behind you. Lift it off the ground. And then you kind of kickstand your other foot around so you open up into side plank. Hold right here. Hold this position. We lift, our top arm is tall. We come back to center, and you're gonna lower down this leg is still lifted as you come into a push-up. Elbows by your side. Come back, rotate, open up. Come back to center, push up. Now, could your knee come to the ground? Absolutely. Could you do it on your toes? You could. I don't know if I could. Maybe. Oh, push up. Oh, yep, there it was. I did it. I don't think I want to keep doing it though. Now I'm recovering from a neck injury that went all the way into my shoulder as well. So there's still just a lot of this kind of pushing movements that are still really tough for me. We're gonna do 2 more. It's just a tough movement in general. And the most important part right here is that we are gaining the strength in our abdominals and in our arms so that we can do some push movements for back bends. Sit back to child's pose. Come forward. Let's do that on the other side because you knew we were going to have to. Lengthen your leg back. Kickstand your foot around. Open up. So now you have to find that kind of rotation with your bottom knee, right? As your hand sweeps around and you go down for push-up. Open up. Pull your abdominal muscles in so your leg stays lifted as we lower. It's just a different way to experience a push-up, right? You might have done push-ups or chaturangas numerous times in life where you do them with both feet on the ground or you do with both knees on the ground. And I like this little variation because it challenges our body and our abdominals and our shoulders and our chest in a way that's just a little different. Let's do 2 more. Lift. And down. So this is my really weaker side with my neck injury. So I'm not going to try it on my toe, but if you wanted to, you could. Let's sit back to child's pose. Walk your feet. So now you are in this little tiny ball. We're going to lower our heels and sit into chair. So you're in this low chair position. Heels are together. We're going to take and lift our heels off the ground and lower them. Woo. So we lift and lower. Now, what is this doing? It is trying to work on our balance. We have this kind of little arch tuck in with our belly, but we're really trying to get our feet warm for a big flow we're about to do. Let's do 1 more. Lift your heels. Lower yourself back to that small ball. Your hips are going to sit down to the ground. You're going to tuck and roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. So this is a Pilates move. It's called Pilates roll-up. Your arms are going to reach behind you. Circle and grab your legs. Now hold the legs. You're in the C curve, right? You want to stay in that. Maybe your elbows and hands have to assist you to come back up. Because the most common fault, keep doing it, I'm going to keep talking. The most common fault that I see is people get to about here, and they get stuck. So they go boom and fling. I call it the fling. Fling themselves up. And then you're not using any abdominals. You're not really getting the purpose. So elbows and hands assisting really makes it a lot better of a place. Let's do 2 more. The other challenge that you might be finding is that your feet want to come off the floor. I have found the further you push them away, that starts to help. And thinking about grounding your toes in. So this is an arch, right? It's just a reverse one. We're gonna sit up tall, lean back. So now we have this long line. Our legs come off the ground. Now hands go wide. You're gonna rotate so your one hip comes off the floor. We come back to center and we rotate to the other hip. Now the important part of this is the lift of your spine so that we are not dumping into the lower back. We have the lift and the rotate. We are getting heat into our abdominals. We are strengthening through our body. We have 1 more. Come back to center. Lower your feet. Sit up tall. You're going to roll all the way down. Each time we do this, allow yourself that moment to be like, I can do it, I can do it. Eventually, you'll be like, oh, look, I did it. Come back to our little ball. Lift up, lower our heels, sit low into chair. Step your right foot back. Lift your arms. So now we are in a crescent or a lunge. Arms reach out to side. You're going to bend your back knee so it touches the floor and then lift up tall. Now it doesn't actually have to physically touch the floor, but that's going to be kind of our thought process, is that we are bending our back knee so much to build the strength into our leg. Use your breath. You should feel the squeeze, the engagement of this back leg. 2 more. Now you're going to shift forward so your back leg is straight. We're going to lift into this front leg. I'm going to turn so that you can see this from a front angle. You stay where you are. You're taking your right arm and crossing to the outside of your left leg. How low you go is just your flexibility. Then we're going to stand all the way up and lift that arm to the sky. Think about your foot that's on the ground. You are suction cupping your toes and going whoop so that your arch lifts. Eventually, not today, but in later classes, we're going to do this actually holding onto a weight. It'll be so much fun. But right now, we are working the strength in our leg and the cross body position of this. Let's do 2 more. I'm turning, so now you see it from the side. This back leg is lifted as high as feels comfortable for you, which might mean it's on the floor. Come up. Now lift both arms high. Big, deep inhale. Exhale, sit low into chair. Sit into this chair. Reach your left leg back. Arms high to the sky. Sit low. Woo. Lift high. Notice one side compared to the other. Don't judge it, just notice. Now, I was talking a lot in our All Levels Flow class this morning, which I highly encourage you to go back and do as well. You'll see some of the connections. But anyway, about how with the beauty that is arches, it comes from the imperfections. We actually get those arches to form because of erosion, because of rain, because of wind. And the non-symmetry between the 2 sides is what we love about the arches. So when you have one side that might be a little different than the other, realize and recognize that that's the beauty of what makes us who we are. Come up. Shift forward. Shift into this front leg. Now reach your left arm across. Ooh. And stand ourselves up. Oops, one arm. Cross. And rise. Now could you put a toe on the floor? Absolutely. Breathe with this. So as you breathe, you push your toes into the floor. You find the arch in your foot. That's the arch that we want right now. Not in our back, but in our foot. Good. You should feel the hip. 2 more. Come back to center, sit low into chair. Now you're gonna get this little lean from your hip. Your hands are down are in front of you. You're gonna lift your arms out and in. Now, if we had little weights in our hands, we would feel this even more. I'm gonna do it from the front here. What I want you to really focus on is that squeeze of your shoulder blades. What I have found is that sometimes when people use weights in this position without having the adequate strength of the tiny muscles of our shoulder blades and our rotator cuff, they actually end up dumping all into shoulders and not getting the area that we should be feeling. So you do a couple more. I'm gonna show you right here in between your shoulder blades and then around your scapula is where you should be feeling this. Let's do 2 more. Now sit low into chair. Place your right heel in front of you. Lift up. All right, so we're gonna do something today that's just gonna be kind of a little fun challenge for you. You do what you can do. I'm gonna stay with being at the side. So we're gonna sit tall or stand tall, big deep inhale. Exhale, we're gonna go bend our knee and try to see how low we can sit. Can you sit all the way down? Maybe. Oh, and then reach back up. Let's do 3 more. So you try 4 times. I don't know if I can do it again. So what we're doing is building that single leg strength, right? When I was thinking about the arches and this idea of today is that sometimes they had the smallest little moment to be on. Let's do 1 more. I'm not gonna go all the way down this time. And, let's switch sides. Oh my goodness. All right, so this is my bad ankle. And actually, I'm gonna show you a little trick. So I have a pin in the front of my ankle that does not allow my ankle to fully bend. So we're gonna do it on the left side, our left leg in front. That is as low as the pin in my ankle will allow me to go. If you're also tight in your ankles, you can lift your heel onto something. And you'll notice I can go deeper. It's still not perfect, but that's what I'm working on. You'll notice too, I actually, on this side, like to take my leg behind me. I don't know why, I think it counterbalances me. Notice your 2 sides. I know my 2 sides are night and day. It frustrates me, but it also just tells me I'm human and I live with it. Do 1 more. You should be right around 4. And come back up. Oh my goodness. All right, shake all that out. So they call that a heel lift, and what it does is it opens up that joint in the front, which also helps if you've got tight hips. It's kind of a little trick. Okay, big deep inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. So a little yoga flow, just because why not? Exhale, step back to child's pose. All right, so right here, this is kind of what we're finishing with today, is this dynamic segment. Press your palms into the mat and lift your knees off the ground for child's pose. All right, this is what we're gonna call loaded beast. Big deep inhale, exhales you forward into plank. Inhale back, exhale forward. One more, just like that. Come forward, exhale flat. Sit back to loaded beast. Now lift your hips high to the sky, your knees come in. You wave, so the top part of your back rounds in. We round forward. Let the head continue to be tucked. Then your head lifts, your hips drop, and you look to the sky. It's kind of like an upward dog, except for you're on your toes. You tuck your chin, we puff up our upper back, we round that area, our mid back comes, then our upper back, and then we sit back to loaded beast. Let's try it one more time. Lift up. Now you're going to notice you might have some challenges kind of in the mid back range articulating it. And that's pretty common when you're starting to learn this move. Or if you're me, I still have problems with it because I have such a tight mid back. And the truth is, like, this arch right here is a really tough place for so many of us. Tuck our chin, reach back, lift our hips. Send your knees to the ground. Lift your knees. Now you're going to walk your feet forward so you're in that little tiny ball. Hands come behind you and your hips come down to the ground. You're going to turn your fingers away from you. Lift your hips an inch off the floor. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Right here. Now your hips are an inch off the ground. This is what we're going to call crab. Lift your right hand so it's right in front of you. And then you're going to lift your hips. As you do, your arm comes behind your head. You look to the hand on the floor. And you lift and spiral your mid back. So it's like this big arch in your back, right? Come back down. Hand comes down, reset. Let's do the other side. Hips lift, hand comes in front. Push your hips high to the sky. Notice I took my feet wider. That is because that's what helps me get a little bit more movement into this arch. I have to lift up here in that mid back. Bring your hand back to center. Hand comes back to floor. Sit down. All right. Remember that. All right. Here's where we're going. We're going to start in a loaded beast. So kind of some of those moves are what we are doing. We're going to sit back into loaded beast. Hands on the floor. Big deep inhale. Exhale, push forward to plank. Inhale back. Wave unload. So that means lift your hips high. Wave to the front. Hips drop down. Look to the sky. Pull your shoulders back. Look as high as you can and then tuck your chin. Lift back up. Sit back to loaded beast. Come forward. Bring your right knee to right elbow. Sit back to loaded beast. Left knee to left elbow. Loaded beast. Do that again. Right knee, right, left elbow. Sit back. One more time. Cross. Now, you're going to stay in loaded beast. Take your right knee to your left elbow. Circle your legs. So think about those circles that we did at the very beginning, that rainbow. You rotate your bottom foot And now your leg is lifted. It's called a scorpion. Try to look to your toe. Circle your leg back around. Reach to your knee, or your elbow to your knee. Lift up to three-legged dog. Step your foot up so you rise to crescent. Crescent, where we have been today. Lean forward, rise up so we are in that that rotated spiral. Stand ourselves all the way up. Here's our fun moment for a pistol squat. Remember, go as low as you can. So that's me on this side with no assist. Lift back up, inhale. Bring your foot down, sit into low ball. Bring your hands to the ground, elbows to the inside of our knees. Lift our hips and bring one foot and then the other foot for crow. I know that in 30 minutes I realized that it is a lot to try to give us all the strength cues, but I wanted to take us through this little flow that I had for you. Come back down. Walk your hands back. You're in crab, hips are down. Turn your hands out. Lift your chest, lift your hips. Right hand comes forward. Big lift of your chest. Crab reach as you open up. Come back down. Hand comes down. Lower your hips. Roll back into a ball. Then come all the way forward. You're going to go into a crow again. Now, from crow, you're using the deep abdominal muscles. Your hips are lifted, and you've got an option right here to either step back or jump back to plank. Oh, yes. Sit your knees down. Child's pose. All right, guys, we're going to do that on the other side. Like, oh, yay. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees so you're now in loaded beast. Big deep inhale. Exhale forward to plank. Inhale back. Exhale, hips high, wave, unload. Roll forward. Drop the hips. Find the arch. Tuck your chin. Lift back. Find that big rounding in our upper cervical spine, upper mid back. Sit back. Big deep inhale. Exhale, left knee to right shoulder, elbow. Sit back, loaded beast. Other side. Back. Two more, just like that. Find that cross. Cross. One more. Now take this knee, circle your leg, find the open. Square your hips, three-legged dog. Lift your leg. Step your foot in between your hands. Rise up to crescent. Oh my goodness, let's try this on this side. Lean forward. Push into a warrior three, and then take our arm. Cross and rotate. Oh my goodness. Come all the way up. Find that pistol squat. Sink low. Ooh, there I am. I found it. Now lift back up. Foot comes to the ground. Sit low into chair. Lift your heels. Crow. Hips high. Push into your legs with your arms. Abs are tight. Lower back down. Sit back to crab. Fingers back. Lift your hips. Left arm comes up. Reach up high. Curve around. Find the curve in your back. We did strengthening at the beginning to get us here. Come back down. Hand comes to floor. Hips lower. Roll one time. Come into your small ball. Find the lift of our abdominals. One last crow. Oh, find crow. Big deep inhale. Exhale, jump back. And lift to up dog. Oh my goodness, guys. Sit back. I would absolutely love to see you do that flow. Sit up. Let's all come to a seated position. Film yourself doing it and tag us, GSO Yoga. Use hashtag GDY community and GSO Yoga. I would just love to see you doing it because it's such a strength and functional movement flow. I mean, there were movements in there that were from animal flow, from Pilates, from yoga, and that's what I hope to give you in this, or plan to give you in this movement warrior. 30 minutes does go really fast. You might find that some days I go a little bit longer because I want to give you that warm up at the beginning. And I'm going to keep kind of shifting and playing with the duration. It might end up being I make it a little bit longer, but we'll see. But I want you to just make sure that you have some fun. Open your chest. I am really all about making sure you get warm, which is why we do spend a little bit of that time at the beginning. All right? I hope you had fun. Again, please film yourself doing that final flow. I'll do it one more time here at the end just so you can see it one last time if you kind of want without all the coaching through it, and I'll also share it on our Instagram and on my personal Instagram. So GSO Yoga and Summerside's Fitness, you can find it. But have some fun with it. Until next time, I'm Summer. Thank you. So here's me doing it. That was one side. So then we would do it all on the other. Again, I'll do